So I'm going to go ahead and clear wax this. I'm going to add a little tiny bit of dark wax, and I'm going to show you my way of doing it because you don't need very much. Clear wax will be to seal your water-based paint, and yeah, don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this video, as well as really appreciate your comments. So leave a comment in the comment box below, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll definitely have some really cool ideas coming. I can't wait to show you guys. I've got this fun little tool. It is an artist comb, and I'm going to show you some really cool techniques that we can do with some combing. So that's going to be in some of the upcoming tutorials. So if you subscribe, you're not going to miss them. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. So using small amounts of clear wax, you want to rub it into your chalk paint. I generally use a lint-free clear cloth when I use a clear wax. And then I use the other side of my cloth, lint-free clear cloth, to wipe off any excess that may have accumulated. So the main purpose of clear wax is to generally seal your chalk paint. Because it's a chemical-free water-based paint, it's not sealed without some kind of sealer, which clear wax is going to do for your project. So not only does clear wax seal your chalk paint, it acts as a protective barrier as well. Because chalk paint is so chalky and dry, clear wax will also help enrich the color as well as moisturize. It will not take away from the matte finish. So just so you know, if you have your clear wax finish on your piece, it also acts as the sealer, but it also acts as the barrier. So when you put on gilding wax, can be any kind of gilding wax. This is the Annie Salone's dark silver. But if your clear base is on here, or your clear wax base is on here, it acts as a buffer as well, which is great because if you've applied too much or for whatever reason you don't like it, you can just take a little bit more clear wax, buff it right off. So it definitely has a really good control that way. Same applies as we are going to use the Annie Salone soft dark wax. We're going to go into just edges and corners, around the drawer. Again, these are things that would naturally start to darken over time, just giving it a more aged appearance. So I'm going to film some of what I'm doing, and again, if you're applying that on your piece, just take a little bit of the clear wax and you can buff it out if you don't like it or you just feel like it might be a little too much. So definitely the control play is there. So this applique here is more just kind of a raised stencil in wood. Like it's almost like it's like a pressed veneer that they placed on here. So it's just like literally like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch off of here. So I am just literally very lightly with my fingertip just going across the high point of it just to bring it up. It's a nice piece and I wanted to add more detail to it. And I'm going to go ahead and actually put a little clear wax so it looks like it's been aged over time with the dark wax in there as well. But very, very mild. This is all stuff that's, you got to play with it and you'll figure out how much and what you like, what you don't like. But it's very forgiving and it's very inexpensive. I bought this little tub, God, almost over a year ago, and I still have over half, and that's the dark wax, and I use a lot of this for my projects. And when I say a lot, I've used them for a lot of my projects, but I don't need very much of this at all, and it goes a long way. Got a little boo-boo. I just take a little clear wax, wipe it off, boo-boo's gone. So for personal touches on what I like to do with some of the furniture projects that you may have seen in the past, or if you've seen on my Instagram, I love going around and actually putting this gilding metal touches. And it's very sporadic. It can just be in corners and at edges. And again, we're gonna go ahead and put this on hardware, and I'm more than likely gonna use dark silver for the hardware. If I do something else, I'll let you know. It just looks really organic. I just find little spots that I just want to highlight up a little bit. So the other thing I really like to do with the gilding wax is I like to do hinges. I love to go back and really, you can do it with your finger, you can do it with an artist brush. But it makes it that you didn't really kind of paint over the hinges, so it looks, I don't know, it's just a preference. So I can't be bothered to remove all of the hinges when dealing with doors and drawers and all of that kind of stuff. Hardware, 9 times out of 10, it can be fairly easy to take off. Sometimes it is actually glued into the piece. So a couple of my pieces, I've had no choice but to paint the hardware and then go back and use some gilding wax. But that's always a really cool option. So you can give it back that metal effect as well as pick the tone of metal you want. So there's gold, copper, silvers, bronze, like there's, and you can mix them and give it like a patina feel as well. So that's kind of cool. So can't go wrong with that. But yeah, anything that's a high point always looks really nice with a little bit of a metal sheen. It's got this little sheer to it. And again, if you feel like you've added too much, not to worry. Clear wax, boom, she's gone.
So for the hardware, I actually decided I wanted to brighten it a bit more, so I decided to add the Bright Silver by Annie Stallone Gilding Wax.
So when you're applying dark wax, this is such a big piece, it's really hard to get it all on the camera without being really far away from you. I'm gonna come in a little bit closer as I start to take back some of the dark wax so you can see what it's doing. One of the important things with dark wax is applying with a brush makes it so much easier. You can do it with a cloth. Again, it depends on the surface you're painting because this is so flat and we've got all these little corners. When I take dark wax and I give a little blob, I generally will get right in the corner and no word of a lie, I'm kind of scrubbing it in there because I create a lot of textures with my paint. This is where dark wax looks really authentic because it gets right into those high and low points that your textures have made. When you wipe it back, all the high points, everything comes off, everything sits in those low points. That's what really gives it that organic aged effect. So, but like I said, little tiny, well, this is pretty dark because I'm really bad at washing I should be washing these more frequently and I don't. But when you just rub it, that's all the dark wax you want. So the amount that I literally just showed you is going to go around to the rest of this piece. So I dip this twice and I'm getting all my edges and corners. So that's how little you really need of dark wax. Again, I'm just showing you what I do, how I do it on this project. So, you know, just trying to give you some tips. Never fear it. It's super easy to work with. And yeah, like I said, the dark or the clear wax is just gonna help us remove some of the high points it's still sitting on. So it's gonna sit in all our lower points. So from a projected visual, what it's done is it's create all this just fabulous depth. So I'm just using the dark, but you can use the black wax too. And yeah, let's keep going. When I get down to this bottom shelf, I'm going to show you some of the takeaway, because I'm just going to go quite sporadically around and I'm going to want to bring it back a little bit. And I generally like to feather a little bit so it comes down a little bit, and then when I'm taking it away you can still see that little bit of feather, so it kind of has that natural. Things fade, and as things get cleaned, it's always those little corners that gather and they just never get 100% clean like a flat surface. So that's why we always want those areas to be dark and dusted when we're creating an antique finish.
So for most of my pieces, I generally like to add some dark wax around the hardware, both for doors and drawers, because again, over years and years of time, that is a difficult area to get super clean. So it has a very natural appearance to me that it has a bit of a shadowed look to it. So if you're in a situation that you don't have any dark or black wax and you just have your one project, you could always use clear wax and add a little bit of brown or black chalk paint to clear wax, and you are good to go.
So rule of thumb, anything that doesn't age in a straight line. It's always going to have rigid dimensions to it. So when I go around and wipe away my dark or black wax or even glazes that I use, I really try my hardest to make sure that it's irregular. So it kind of has ups and downs, and it goes up and comes back down again, because nothing over time, even paint chips and things that will naturally age as the nostalgic feel comes through, is a straight line. It doesn't look natural, at least not to me. So again, I'm just trying to give you some tips of things, rule of thumb that I go by, and I'm down on the ground. So yeah, so just again, this is just how I do it. And you can take away a whole bunch. I like it when it sits deep in my texture lines, so it's down in those low points. That's what really gives it a beautiful, just overall beautied, aged appearance. And yeah, I never really share the clear wax and the dark wax on a lot of my tutorials, so I really wanted to separate this out a little bit and give you some of the tips of what I do. A lot of the reason too is I actually paint my highlights and lowlights in the paint, so I don't really use a lot of dark wax, but for age definition, for sure, definitely still want to go around those edges and corners, but you can do all of it. Just smear it on and then smear it off, and it will give a really nice age effect. Again, it just depends on the preference and the pieces that you're painting.